Gregory Scott here to do your forecast for November 2015. Thank you for joining me. It's really nice to be with you as always. I'm going to give you a rundown of how the astrology is going to influence you in November. Now, the month starts with a grand trine in water. A grand trine is always an area of real talent, and this grand trine is in the element of water. So it is going to increase your intuition, it's going to increase the way you feel things, and the way you respond to things on an emotional level. A grand trine, obviously because it's a triangle, it has 3 points on it. So the points are Chiron in Pisces in your 12th house, the Sun in Scorpio in your 8th house, and the Moon in Cancer in your 4th house. This is really an opportunity for you on the first day of the month to kind of connect with people in your family life, people who are closest to you, people who are nearest and dearest to you, and to really have an understanding of what they're feeling. You're someone who likes to get things done. I don't think you overcomplicate things. I don't think you overanalyze things. You like to move forward, okay? So this is a great opportunity for you to hear the other side of the story, to really connect with it and to really find meaning in it. Because sometimes, people are sharing their feelings and this is how I honestly feel. That doesn't work for everybody, and some people may just react, well, thanks for sharing, but how does that impact me? But you have great compassion for that at the beginning of the month, so if there is a relationship you'd like to amend or fix, it's a good time to do that. On the 2nd of November, Mercury goes into Scorpio, also in your 8th house. Mercury is the planet of communication. It's been in Libra, and Libra is very surface level, positive connection with other people. Scorpio is more diving down into the depths, into the real emotional side of things, and that also goes into your 8th house. So the theme of yesterday continues. There's a greater understanding, there's a greater perception, there's a greater ability to communicate about real emotional stuff in your working life, about the way you feel, about what your direction is, about the way you feel with other people. It's a great way to kind of get all of that junk out and to communicate in a really open, honest way. On the 3rd of November, Neptune, the planet of dreams, is going to start trining your Sun, which is your identity, which is also in a water sign, and that's in your 8th house. They stay in a connection with each other until the 6th of November. Now, in last month's forecast, I mentioned that around Halloween and also with some other influences, it was a real time of increased emotional sensitivity, of increased intuition, of kind of an increased sense of the other. The veil gets thinner, paranormal activity increases. When Neptune and the Sun connect the way they do, it really adds an extra element of sensitivity, and this has been the theme here for the first 3 days already, that you will pick up more than you usually would. You have a greater emotional capacity and a greater emotional understanding. On the next day, the 4th of November, the Moon starts to trine Uranus. Uranus is the planet that's responsible for rebellion and for doing things your own way. It's in Aries, which is your sign, which is the most rebellious sign of the zodiac. I would say it's most about achieving things, moving things forward. When that connects with Leo, with a Leo moon in your 5th house, it really represents that you own your own power, you own your own sense of fun on this day, and you really feel deserving of love, and you feel deserving of a positive response from other people. This is a great day to put some plans into action, to connect with another person, and to really make a decision about a relationship. So the first couple of days of November, you've been listening to other people's feelings. This is interesting, like if you're on the phone with someone and they're constantly telling you your problems, they're constantly telling you their problems rather, and you listen and you're compassionate and you're caring and you help them out. Try this, especially on the 4th of November. Try telling them one of your concerns on the 4th and see how that reaction is, because it's very interesting. Often, the people who talk the most about their own problems are often the people who are most unwilling to listen to other people's. And it's a two-way street, okay? So this is a great day for you to assert yourself and to really own your own personality and own your own stuff, and really put some great boundaries into place. The next day, Jupiter, the planet of good luck and good fortune, that starts to connect with Pluto, and it has been connecting with that planet since the 8th of September, and it will continue until the 20th of November, but today it's especially strong. So Pluto's in your 10th house of career, and it's in the sign of Capricorn. So what that means to me is that on this day, the theme totally changes now, but you've been working in your day-to-day life very well for ages and ages. You've been making good decisions, you've been very practical, you've been very discerning. When Pluto kind of connects with all of that stuff going on in your 6th house now, it means that there's a kind of rebirth in one of the opportunities, or a door opens in your working life. Good luck appears in your life on this day. So make sure, what is the 5th? Is it a weekday? Yeah, it's a Thursday. 5th of November is a Thursday. So make sure you're at work today, because you'll really feel aligned with your work, and an opportunity will arise that will lead you in a different way. So if you're working in textiles or working in fashion, and your life is pretty routine and structured at work, it may be that you get a call from a new supplier, or that you get a new business lead or something. Something new appears, and it opens new opportunities in your working life. That energy connects until the 20th of November. So the next 15 days from the 5th are really good for that kind of opportunity to arise. Now, 2 days later on the 7th, there's something that I see quite rarely in the chart, and that's called a yod, and that's also known as the finger of God. It's 2 quincunxes and a sextile, and it kind of indicates, the universe or God kind of taking an active role in your chart and inserting something that's going to have a positive impact on you. And the connection is between your Sun and your Jupiter, and it quincunxes your Uranus. So what I've put here in the notes, in the margins, is that it's okay to be you. It's okay to be you at work. It's okay to be you in all aspects of life. And it's okay for you to drop the facade and to really be more real. Because you have a lot of good ideas and a lot of insights and intuitions and your own way of doing things. And I think recently, or lately at least, you've been so focused on working very hard and really making the right decision that you've been forgetting about your own desires in work, especially, and your own perspective on things, and you've been deferring to other people, which is kind of unlike you anyway. So this kind of finger of God comes back in now, reminds you, Aries, do your own thing, remember to assert yourself, remember to inject your own ideas into this situation for an even better, more harmonious working life. The next day, a T-square appears in this chart, and it's between, again, Uranus and the Moon now, and it kind of culminates in that Pluto in the 10th. That kind of injection you had yesterday, you feel more comfortable talking to people about the real ideas that you've got in a harmonious, positive way, and really people respond to that in a positive way. So you're really being inspired around the 7th and 8th, okay? You'll really get some great new ideas, and that then improves your business and makes you feel like you belong in your job. If you're an accountant, but you always feel like you have artistic talent and you want to be on the stage, there's a sense of disconnect, okay? Your dreams, your aspirations, and the reality totally conflict in that example. The reality is that whatever it is you're doing, you're going to feel completely aligned with that on this day, even if there is a general sense of conflict or unease with what you do. So these are really good days for your productivity in your working life. Venus goes into Libra on the next day. And Venus is really, really happy in Libra because Venus rules Libra. Libra is the most sociable sign of the zodiac. It's very charming. It's very much about building bridges between you and other people. And it can be a little bit superficial because it creates beauty and it's interested in the outside appearance of things. Venus sits right on top of your descendant, which is what you're looking for in terms of other people. And that Venus energy really creates positive, harmonious relationships for you from now on, okay? So the 9th, Venus goes over that boundary, that descendant boundary, and starts to sit in your 7th house. You're going to feel much more loving. Your relationships are going to be more loving, partly because you're expressing more love, but also because people respond better to you. And this, from now on, it's a wonderful time for romance. Venus just sits there and continues to occupy that house for you until early December, until the 4th of December. So use this time to really, again, if you're single, to meet new people. If you're in a relationship, to spend more time with your other half, with your loved ones, because Venus is really a great influence. It is love, you know, it's personal love. It's about what I love, what I enjoy, where I find beauty. And, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So you're going to start noticing that things look much rosier, especially in connection with other people. Neptune begins to trine the moon on the next day. And again, this brings me back to that quality of increased intuition and increased awareness of paranormal or feelings or intuitive messages. And it's interesting because in last month's forecast, I did mention that this Halloween was going to be a powerful one. I've been experiencing a real increase of activity even from weeks before. And I think this is, in this year, the way things are aligning, that's what it's all about. The veil, for whatever reason, has really thinned. And I really started to feel it personally after the big eclipse that was going on at the end of September even. And this is what this is all about, okay? So if you've ever had an interest in kind of medium things, or as in mediumship, as in talking to people on the other side, this is your chance to look into that, because your abilities are going to be improving. And it's also an ability, and there's potential for you to heal things that are unresolved. You know, a lot of ghosts themselves, they stay on planet Earth because they have unfinished business. But you have unfinished business with people who have passed on, or with people who are in your life right now. So it's a good opportunity for you to reach out and to finish that off. Now, the next day is the new moon. And the new moon is when the moon goes black. It's an area of new beginnings, a time of new beginnings rather, and it's when energy is pulled in. This new moon is in Scorpio, which is about emotional depth, emotional control, getting your feelings really together and really getting a grip on how you are in connection with other people. And I think that's going to be a big part of your perspective around the 11th. How do I interact with people? What's my role in life with other people? Do people respect me? Do they look up to me? Do they defer to my judgment? Or do people dismiss me? Or people think I'm their lackey and I should run and get their coffee? What is my role here? And I think you're going to start thinking about that, and that's good, because when you think about it, then if you're not happy with the way things are going, you can change them. So this is going to be a kind of introspective day for you. The next day sees Jupiter starting a relationship with the Sun and also with Mercury. Jupiter is, like I said earlier, it's good luck and good fortune. It's in Virgo at the moment, so it's all about you have your good luck, Aries, you specifically, when you take action in work. That's really the gift that you've got. But it connects with that Sun and Mercury, which is your identity, which is your communicative ability. And by being open and honest with someone in an official capacity, maybe the tax people, or maybe a lawyer, or maybe a judge, or maybe a boss or an employee, by really being open and structuring the conversation in such a way that you're happy with it, that it feels comfortable to you, you'll make some real progress, either with that person or with your relationships in connection with other people. So I mentioned that yesterday with the new moon, so it's a quick turnaround. You evaluated how you see yourself, and I think you may have the opportunity to sit down with someone on the 12th and say, I think we need to make some changes. I'm not particularly happy with the way you're treating me, or the way the dynamic is here, and I'm going to put something in place to alter that. And that's great, because you're taking your power back. Mars goes into Libra on the 13th, and that is also in your 7th house of relationship. Mars is the soldier, okay? Mars is desire, what it is I want, and Mars is your ruler. So this is really important because whatever your ruler does is going to have a big impact on you. And Mars goes into Libra, so the soldier becomes not just strong and powerful and full of drive and ambition for the sake of getting things done, he becomes visually appealing. Connects with Venus in your 7th house, and when the male and female archetypal principles come together, when you think about that in real life, usually a child appears, new life occurs, and there's passion and excitement and all sorts of things, all sorts of great things. And for you, these two coming together sparks a real new beginning in terms of your relationship life. I've already talked about the emotional change of existing relationships, but also this is much more about new beginnings and much more harmonious relationships coming into your life that actually please you and that you don't need to work on. You know, we all need to work on maintaining friendships and marriages and relationships, but sometimes the best things are the ones that are just fun and where you can just connect with someone and it's not a lot of work. Now, on the 14th, the chart does something interesting because houses 2 through to 5 just clear. And there's a lot of emptiness in that sector. And everything kind of shifts into the relationship and work sectors. That is really the crux of your focus in November, Aries. How am I getting on with other people? And how does improving my relationships benefit my working life? On the 16th, Jupiter raises its lucky and positive kind of head again, and that starts to connect with all of this stuff going on in your 10th house, which is Pluto, the moon, and your rising. So today, again, a very good day to make a decision, a practical decision in your business. You will feel very comfortable doing that. You will feel like you're making your own work more yourself. It's a more accurate and true reflection of who you are. You're able to kind of apply yourself and make a lot of progress, and that brings new life into your work. So everything is just kind of, let's get rid of the negative stuff, and how can we streamline working life to make it even better? Uranus starts to oppose Venus on the 17th, and that opposition continues until the 28th of November. And this is interesting. This is now me versus other people. So that beautiful kind of connection that you've got with other people in your life and those new beginnings, that hasn't lasted very long, because now with Uranus coming in, it's about how can I take charge and control of this situation. So if you've met someone a couple of days earlier, it's almost immediately, how can I make this person mine? How can I make this something that will please me? How can I take ownership of this? And Uranus is almost like a big kind of agenda setter there, and he says, what's in it for me? So connecting that with Venus, not particularly ideal. It kind of takes the edge of beauty for beauty's sake, and it puts a kind of plan of action into it, which kind of tarnishes it a little bit. So try and relax if you can. Try and take it easy. The moon squares Saturn, Mercury, and the Sun on the 19th of November, and that is now in your 8th house and in your 9th house of expansion and education. The moon is there in your 11th house of people and of social connections and also hopes and dreams. So you feel quite comfortable, and you're in a position to use your knowledge that you've got either through your learning or through your experience from earlier in the month to really educate someone and to make things better and to take them forward. So now you're the leader, you're in charge. So what you've been working on this month to kind of get things positioned right, you've got to that by the 19th of November, because you're the one setting the tone, telling people what's what, and taking charge of situations. The 21st sees Mercury changing signs again. It goes into Sagittarius in your 9th house. You become much more interested in broadening your mindset and your skill set and educating yourself even further. So a lot of themes have been going on in this month for you, Aries, and now you're very much focused on a specific goal and how you can use your intellect to get there. So a good day to sign up for a course or to look at what other opportunities there are in your working life and how you can improve yourself. Pluto squares Venus on the 22nd and continues that relationship until the 25th. And this is wonderful because now love enters your working sector and really blossoms. Think of it as, this is interesting, when I was much younger, I lived in the desert, I lived in Botswana, and the desert would be completely, just literally a desert. And then once a year or something it would rain, and the day after the rain, the whole thing would just be covered in flowers. It was amazing, it's like a magical transformation. And the 22nd of November, that's the kind of transformation you see in your working life. All of this work that you've done, all of the thinking about how can I educate myself, improve my skill set, it blossoms and flourishes over these 3 days, and you'll really be pleased with the developments that occur in your working life over this 3-day period. On the 23rd, the moon and your north node start to quincux 150 degrees apart, and you feel very much like you've achieved what you want to achieve with your relationships. In your work, more so than with your personal relationships, I think you're very, very pleased with the way your life is going. So this is an amazing month for you in your working life. The full moon occurs in Taurus on the 25th, and that is in your second house of money. Okay, so there will be beneficial finances, but also what I want to mention is that this month, the new moon is in Scorpio, the full moon is in Taurus. Both of those signs are about control. Scorpio likes to control the feelings, Taurus likes to control money, belongings. So all of this is from your solar plexus, from the chakra in the middle of your torso, just beneath your rib cage. And that's where all of this comes from, and that's a big theme here. On the plus side, you can control your working life and make it better. On the downside, when you control personal relationships, often people resist and they start to push back. Focus on work more so than relationships, and on the 25th, expect good, positive financial news. On the 27th of November, the North Node and Jupiter connect in your 6th house of work. Again, very good luck, very good positivity, and they square your moon now in Gemini in your 3rd house. This is a wonderful day to go out there and say something, to speak, to present, to sign new contracts, to apply for new jobs, and to have job interviews. That's the best day of the month for those kind of concerns. Uranus begins to oppose Mars on the 28th of November, and it stays in opposition until the 20th of December. Now, you've got the soldier and the really cranky old man going head to head, okay? And Mars is your desire in your relationships. Uranus is in yourself. You become a little bit over the top and you become very forceful in terms of what you want. And I think there's a tendency for you to become highly superficial, okay? So really just focused on the outside and saying, the grass is greener, I want to have a better relationship, I want to upgrade my relationships, all of that kind of thing. Watch out for that. True happiness doesn't lie in that direction. True happiness is when you look at within, you know, and when you focus on love. And it's the difference between love and lust, okay? But Mars is lust. It's I want to be with this person, whereas love is about having a genuine connection and intimacy with another person, and the intimacy is positive, and the lust isn't so positive because it doesn't last, and it devalues the connection. Finally, on the 30th of the month, the moon begins to trine Saturn and the Sun, and this is, again, your increased educational skills, your newfound info that you've gained in your skill set really allows you to shine in some way and to have more fun in your life. And that at the end of the month kind of sets the tone for December, which is much more about stepping out of your comfort zone, letting go of control, and just allowing your skills to kind of flourish and speak for themselves. So that's November for you. I hope you found that useful. If you'd like a private reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the Readings tab to see the types of readings that I offer, astrology, tarot and numerology, and choose the reading that you'd like on that page. You can also send me an email. The address is readings@gregoryscott.co.uk, and please remember to subscribe to the channel. Have a wonderful November, and I'll speak to you next month.